Okay, we'll call to order the meeting of the Redevelopment Commission of Westfield for April 15th. Happy Tax Day. I hope everybody's got their taxes filed. First item is the declaration of a quorum. Martha, if you would, please.
Sir. Joe Plankus.
Here.
John Dart.
Here.
Brian Michael.
Here.
Larry Kemper.
Here.
Brian Pulowski. Mike Steele.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. Very good. Thank you, Marla. Next item is we need to pledge allegiance again. It's a separate meeting, so I think we should do that. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic, of the nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting of March 18th, 2024. Do you have any comments or questions on the minutes? Very nice format that Janelle and David have come up with, especially on the showing the votes. I think that really clarifies it and very easy to find information on the minutes. So again, any questions or comments on the minutes? If not, open for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, we have motion and a second for approval. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Marla, please.
John Dart.
Yes.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the memorandum from our executive session of March 18th. Do we have a motion for approval of that memorandum?
Make a motion.
Okay, motion by Brian Michael. I'll second that motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Marla, please take the roll.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
John Dart.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we're into the financial matters. First item is the clerk treasury report. Marla, welcome back from your training session.
Well, thanks so much. I did have approval of claims on here. I don't know, am I out of order? Or maybe just my sheet's out of order. I apologize.
Claims are a little further down.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All
That's all right.
Well, basically, I have a statutory obligation to share with you a treasurer's report, which could be the same thing that Bondry reports to you, but because it's written in a different statute, I just wanted to do something a little different and maybe provide some information that you don't get from that report. So nothing mind-blowing. I think I'd just have you skip maybe to some of the charts and graphs. Page 4, we tried to do a graph for you that showed really where we spend the most amount of money, those TIFs that have the largest expenditures. There are a few TIFs still that really aren't generating increment. And so, of course, we are not spending anything from that also. And then below that, we graphed it out just charted it out rather by category for you, thinking maybe that would be helpful. So you can see your legal services, professional services. The council repayment, as you know, was made last year and has been fulfilled. So that won't appear on anything else unless there's another reason to repay them. But anyway, and then we have your cash contribution that were made to pay down those Grand Junction Plaza bonds that were issued. So we spent $17 million last year. And then on the next page, page 5, I did a pie chart for you just to kind of show which TIFs are creating the most revenues, basically. And then those are listed separately. And then your final summary of fund cash and investment balances. And that's not too changed. I apologize, we weren't able to get you a treasurer's report for this month yet. We're having difficulty closing out the month due to a reporting issue, jet reporting. kind of screwy. So as soon as we have those done, but I think you're still somewhere in the range of $9 million. I did just recently divest from investments $400,000 in order to meet some upcoming obligations that we foresee down the road. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it, but tried to make something that's just kind of basic, but really gives you a different perspective, I hope.
Okay, thank you, Marla.
Sure.
Any questions for Marla on the annual report for fiscal year 23? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Are you going to provide some info either on a quarterly or monthly basis, Marla, in regards to the interest that we're earning for the investments you've put the funds in?
Yeah, so I want to include those on your monthly treasurer's report.
Okay,
It's always, of course, going to appear in arrears, but again, this
yeah,
month
reporting.
has been
That's fine.
a little bit unusual. So I'll try to get you updated so you can see how much money you're earning in interest on a monthly
Yeah.
basis.
I think if you work with Dave and get him the document, he can post it obviously, but in the meantime, if you wanted to mail it out to commission members and Janelle and staff, that would be great to do that too, when you have that available.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that for you. And frankly, unless you want me to present it, it was really just going to be an
No, I think if you
attachment from
just
month to month.
email it and we can review it. If we have questions, we're certainly free to ask those questions.
You bet. Sounds great.
Very good. Thank you, Marla. Okay. Oscar, it's all yours, my friend, for the Bondry 2023 TIF management report.
Thank you, Commission President. For the record, Oscar Gutierrez, Bondry Consulting, Municipal Advisor to the Redevelopment Commission. What I'm about to present is your annual TIF report. It will be very similar to what the Clerk Treasurer just provided. Typically, there's very low variation and sometimes the same reports used, but obviously the Clerk Treasurer has the right to add additional information that she has provided in the previous report. But the code is slightly different that asks us to do this. That's decided here. You have a table of contents that will go through everything that's on this report. I will note that this report was presented to the City Council prior to presenting to you, which is not typically the way that this is reported. So some of you may
You
have
explained it well at the council
seen
meeting.
it,
Oscar. We're fine.
but I'm happy to continue to go through this page by page, which is, I'll just go ahead and
If you have some highlights that you want to point out, feel free to do that.
I'll just go through it quickly here. So the third page gives you all the commission members. There were no paid RDC members in 2023. This highlights all of your allocation areas, the T codes, which is how the county allocates the funds, the Indiana code in which they were established. The main thing that I want to highlight here is the expiration of these TIFs. Anything that does not have an expiration, there's no debt against those TIFs. Next page. This is the part that typically when we see in municipalities try to do this on their own, they get a little bit wrong, is because this has to be reported by allocation area, which includes all of the funds, and then you net out any interfund transfers, but you have your revenues, your expenditures per each of the TIF allocation areas, and then you have a balance, and the balance is reported by actual fund. So some of these may have different fund balances, but it's the same allocation area. I mean, this is a bad example because there's no balances on those, but ultimately there are different fund numbers per allocation.
The only thing that I would request maybe, Oscar, is to have a summary total at the bottom of each of these categories.
That's what this is, sir. So these are we can add a
All I'm
balance.
saying is add up that last column so that we see a total of what the expenditures or revenues were.
We can do that. And I will note that this is how it gets entered into Gateway. So this just reflects how Gateway is reported. So we can customize any report any way you want.
I can do it on my adding machine.
No. What I'm saying is that any information that is not on this report, we can provide to you guys in any format that you would like. This is simply the way that it's reported to Gateway. So we can
just for ease of purpose, we could look at it from year to year and see what the totals are.
No worries. We can do that. And then you guys do have one housing TIF. Most municipalities don't have one, but Osborne Trails, we consider it to be a housing TIF. And we're calculating based on average sale price. And then the final is your bonds outstanding on the RDC for all the TIF allocation areas. The part that I highlighted to the council and I'll highlight to you is that the principal interest outstanding, this numbers may look a little bit high. And the refunding that we're working on, which is the 2016, is this note right here. Right? Yep, that's the correct one. So you'll note that we're reporting the total principal and interest outstanding. However, the approvals that we're doing today are for no more than $24 million. That's because that we're only refunding the principal amount. And with that, that is the report. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Hey, do commission members have any questions for Oscar? Second time I've seen the report, so it's good report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next item are claims for April 15th. Do the commission members have any comments or questions in regards to claims?
I just had one question. I don't know if anybody's here that can answer the question about a trainer associates. There were several fees for appraisals. Could you have some information on that?
Yes, we have started requesting some appraisals of some property that would be of interest in some redevelopment areas that we're focusing on. Not providing the actual addresses of the appraisals here in the meeting, but that is the purpose, to find out the value of those lands.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If there are no other further questions, I'm open for a motion for approval of claims.
Motion to approve.
Motion by John Dart. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Brian Tamamichael. Thank you. Marla, if you'll take the roll, please.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
John Dart.
Aye.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Carries. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Matt Trinian.
Good evening, commission members. Matt Trinian on behalf of Grand Park this evening. Before you this evening are a total of, 12, 2, 2, and 1. Quick math. That is not quick math. That's 15, I think. Or is that more than 15? 12, 14. That's 17. I went to not a Westfield school, so Ryan, forgive me. 17 total contracts ahead of you for ratification this evening. 12 of which are standard use agreements, 2 are addendums, 2 are sponsorship agreements, and there's 1 assignment agreement. I did send this out and received a question from Councilmember Dart or Commission Member Dart in regards to the Meyer contract. What the question was, it pertained to essentially a discount of $500 on the use agreement. Basically, that is a part of a larger sponsorship agreement that allows or allocates certain space for them to activate. And they elected to activate it for this specific event. This event required more space, so they paid for that additional space, but wanted to make sure I got that out in front of you. Outside of me being prepared with the number ahead of next meeting, please let me know if there are any questions and seek your approval for these contracts for ratification.
Okay, if there are there any questions from commission members for Matt? If not, I'm open for a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
Brian Michaels made a motion. So I have a second.
Second.
Second by John Dart. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Marla, if you will.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
John Dart.
Aye.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Also, in speaking with Matt, he said this weekend is one of the busiest weekends of the year. So if you want to see a lot of activity out in Grand Park, this is the weekend you want to go out there. Everything is full on all the diamonds and all of the fields.
Yeah, this will be one of the busiest weekends of the year. So likewise, yeah, if any of you are interested in coming out, let me know. And if you don't have any interest in being around the park, I totally understand. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it. Okay, Janelle, you're up for our executive director's report. And if you would, at the end, maybe you can introduce your newest staff member also.
Yes, I definitely will. Hold on. Okay. All right, this is a short and sweet report on a couple updates from the Economic Development Department. First of all, update on our staff. So we have a full staff now with 4 employees, including John Rogers, who you all know is our Director of Enterprise, Kai Chuck, our Economic Development Strategist, Claire Jelinas, who is here with us tonight. She is a new Business Attraction and Retention Specialist and has joined us from her previous engagement with Boone County Economic Development Corporation. And as you know, David Brock, who's our Project Manager and Office Administrator. So really grateful to finally have a full staff and be fully operational. I feel like we've made it through the first quarter, but now we're really ready to get moving forward at full speed. Super excited to have all of these people helping me with all of our initiatives for the city. I wanted to provide a quick update on studies that we have underway. The first is Grand Park. As you all know, there's an MOU with Grand Park Sports and Entertainment that we have been working through as a final agreement, still in the works. But as part of that MOU, there is contemplated an agreement with Keystone Development for further development of the Grand Park area. We've had some early discussions with them about what that development could look like and how we all might work together. Including starting to define where those plan limits might be and what our expectations would be to move forward as a team and incorporate that into the GPSE agreement. Another major effort that will be underway shortly is an updated comprehensive plan. I've been working in collaboration with the Community Development Department. We put out an RFP to a number of teams last month. And we're expecting questions to come in on that RFP here in the next week. And we should have proposals in, I believe, at the end of April, hoping to have a decision by sometime in May so that we can get started with that comprehensive plan update. The other thing that I think is really necessary and probably happening much later than it should have is a study of all of the needs for restaurant parking along Park Street. We hear frequently that we have a parking demand in the Grand Junction and Park Street area, especially in the evenings when those restaurants are operating at full capacity. And we have a couple things in the work here. One is planning some temporary parking at Midland Trace Trail at Poplar or Westfield Boulevard. There are 2 parcels that we actually approved a resolution to purchase last month. And once we've closed on those 2 parcels, we will be moving forward with a plan to provide temporary parking there, which Department of Public Works has agreed to install for us. It will require a demolition of 2 structures at 319 and 327 Poplar before we can construct that. And then the other exciting thing happening, or at least exciting to me because I'm a numbers person, is studying the true parking demand that we have for the downtown area. And our intent is to make sure that the demand for the restaurants and businesses in the area are being met by the new garages that are planned in redevelopment areas. So I'm working with LVR International. We had approved a contract with them a couple of months ago to do this study, and we have a preliminary draft, just working through some tweaks on those numbers right now. I'd also provided and intended to provide an update on abatement reporting this month. As of right now, we do not have all reports in for 2024 reporting period. I guess it's 2023 reporting period. We still have five forms that are outstanding as of today. But overall, in the real property abatements, we had anticipated about $125 million in investments, and so far reported actual investments is $135 million. So I thought that was encouraging, especially since we're still waiting on 5 more. And then wanted to highlight a couple of success stories. One being Abbott Laboratories. They had projected that they would invest about $27.4 million in real property, and they now report that they've invested $49.7 million. There is also a personal property abatement. They had proposed that they would invest $7 million, and they are now reporting that they've invested $11.2 million. So this really shows that they have this commitment to Westfield, that they are growing. Very successful company here in Westfield. North Point Owners is another success story with real property proposed investment of 20.5 million and a real property actual reported of 27.5 million. I did also want to be transparent and note that not all of these are winners. We do have a loss. BDX had a proposed $24.5 million investment. The actual property investment so far is just less than $1 million. I did discuss this with Kai earlier today, and he indicated that they've had some business issues over the last couple of years, and they just have not been able to make that investment as planned. However, with it being an abatement, they are only abated. They're only abating what they would have paid in taxes. So it's not that we've lost money. We won't gain the money that we had anticipated over the long run. So that's really what I had today for my updates from an economic development standpoint. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have on these topics or others.
Where's BDX in their abatement schedule? I would assume, is it a standard 10-year?
I think it was approved in 2019, so they're about halfway through. But Claire, if you want to check on that,
several years
get back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get back to you to
If
answer.
we just get an email, I think the commission members,
Yeah.
Janelle, I think that'd be adequate. Okay, thank you very much. We have no old business. We have a number of items of new business. First action item is regarding acquisition of right-of-way. That was moved off of the agenda to a future meeting. Action item number 2, resolution 07-2024, authorizing transfer of funds for right-of-way acquisition for the DeLong property. Janelle, if you want to cover that, please.
I have a slide here to show you a little bit more about the DeLong property. So this is a piece of property that is located at 161st Street and Spring Mill, associated with the Spring Mill Station project. And sorry, this is 171st and Spring Mill. Is that right, John?
161st.
161st. I was right the first time. 161st and Spring Mill. There are 2 properties that are being acquired here at the northwest quadrant. We are talking about this one right here, which is just a little sliver of the DeLong property. The value of this property is $95,800. And this is an approval of reimbursement to the Board of Public Works and Safety for the acquisition of the right-of-way. This was coordinated with Department of Public Works and the landowner. Department of Public Works has already paid the landowner for this land. However, we had already agreed to pay out of the TIF from Spring Mill Station. So we are reimbursing basically the Board of Public Works and specifically the Public Works Department for this land purchase.
Okay, any other questions for Janelle on this particular resolution? Seeing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Motion approved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by John Dart, second by Brian Tamamichael. If you would take the roll, please, Marla.
John Dart,
Yes.
Brian Tamamichael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for the Westfield Lease Rental Refunding Bonds Series 2024. So I think this one's for Heather. If you would explain this one, and then we'll open the public hearing.
Certainly. Thank you. So for the folks that were here for the Redevelopment Authority meeting, it's really the same situation. We're looking to have you adopt a resolution this evening approving the lease between the Redevelopment Authority and the Redevelopment Commission. And again, this lease leases Grant Park Event Center. And the purpose of this financial structure is to avoid the statutory debt limit, which is why we need to utilize the Redevelopment Authority lease. And the purpose of the financing is so that we can have a savings and pay off an existing note and instead issue a new refunding bond where you'll have a savings of between $50,000 and $100,000 on an annual basis over the life of the financing.
That was discussed at the RDA, and that was an excellent discussion. So and Oscar has covered it a little bit in his presentation also. So if we have no further questions.
Well, the one question that wasn't
Yes,
covered
go ahead.
yet was the agreement, not the resolution, but the agreement goes back to the council. The lease agreement, the 60-page lease agreement, does that go to who actually approves that?
No, the redevelopment authority already approved it, and now we're asking you to approve the lease agreement. The council has already met and adopted a resolution approving the lease, and then we'll be back before you and back before the council to ask for the bond approvals. Well, actually, we're back before the council to ask the council to adopt an ordinance pledging the general revenues to the repayment of the bonds.
But the council has not seen the lease agreement.
I believe that they have actually seen the lease
think that
agreement.
was
We've
last
distributed
meeting,
it.
John.
Yeah, the
That was-
council.
Um,
The council already adopted a resolution approving the bonds, the lease, and the trust indenture. And the only other action we need from them is for them to adopt that ordinance pledging the revenues to the repayment of the bonds.
I'm not aware that any council member has. I know you've had several discussions offline, right, to get alignment with the council members.
We had a council meeting here on April 9th. And-
You've had discussions offline with Patrick Tam and Joe Devner.
Several, yes.
Yeah, and so, but have they seen, I guess, maybe I'm
Yes.
missing something here. I
We've
don't-
certainly distributed the lease agreement to them. Yes,
Yeah, that was, I think, voted on last Monday, John.
it was.
Mistaken.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions for Heather? If not, we'll have our public meeting. We'll open it up here at 6:43, looks like. Do we have anyone that wants to speak to the commission in regards to this particular issue? We'll wait here for a few minutes to see if anyone is added. Chris, do we have anything that you have received in the way of emails or other documentation?
I have not.
I'm not
received
aware that I
anything.
receive any emails or where to check if we are receiving public comment via email.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chris. Okay, we will close the meeting at 6:44. Are there any other questions for Heather or Janelle on this particular item? If not, I'm open for a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve the lease.
Okay, Brian, Tom, and Michael, motion for approval of the lease.
Second.
Second by Larry, thank you. Marla, would you take the roll, please?
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
Sean Dart.
Okay, motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is resolution 09-2024, acceptance of transfer of 201 Mill Street to the RDC. And Janelle, if you will, on this one again.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. All right, I have a slide up here that summarizes the two next action items, which includes 201 Mill Street. This is a transfer of land, and then also a project agreement that contemplates a sale of the piece of land 201 Mill Street to a developer. This is an excellent opportunity for some redevelopment along Mill Street facing Grand Junction Plaza. Henry Najum is the developer owner. He is planning to build a restaurant, which will be a steakhouse. And we're looking at approximately $5.5 million of private investment for this restaurant to be brought to Westfield. And this is a fairly small combination of parcels combined together, 201 and 211 Mill Street. We're at about half an acre. So our assessed value of the land is estimated to be about $2.5 million, which comes out to about $5 million per acre. Really excellent opportunity for us. I've had Bondry calculate some preliminary estimates of annual taxes, and we're looking at about $25,000 a year in tax increment revenue coming to the RDC with the implementation of this project after we've created a TIP allocation area And then there would also be about $2,900 a year going to the schools associated with the referendum. So the ROI over 25 years, we're looking at approximately a $265,000 net return of tax increment to the city after the investment of approximately $360,000 value of the incentive itself. So I will jump back to our actual resolutions here. The first one is for the transfer of the land. So this is the transfer of a piece of property that is currently owned by the city of Westfield at 201 Mill Street. It's this property right here, which is where Westfield Welcome is currently located. This would be from the RDC to the CDC for the CDC to use in redevelopment.
Any other questions for Janelle? Seeing none, I'm open for a motion for approval.
Make motion to approve.
Okay, Brian Tom Michaels made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by John Dart.
Hold
Thank
on.
you.
Hold
Margaret?
on, I've misspoken. Okay, thank you, Ryan. This first resolution, my apologies. This is the acceptance of the transfer from 201 Mill Street to the RDC from the city of Westfield.
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself.
Okay.
The next one is us transferring to the CDC. So if I could restate this, resolution 09/2024 is for the acceptance of the transfer of 201 Mill Street to the RDC from the city of Westfield.
Okay,
My apologies.
change duly noted. Ryan, we don't need to go through it again, do we? Okay, Marla, if you'll take the roll, please.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankis.
Aye.
John Dart.
Aye.
Brian Michael.
Okay, motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. We'll go to the next item, which is resolution 10-2024, which is the Mill Street project agreement.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so this is where we catch up, and the RDC will be transferring this land, 201 Mill Street, to the CDC, and this resolution authorizes the RDC to enter into a project agreement with Henry Najum as the developer of Westfield Steakhouse, which contemplates the sale of this land to Henry Najum as part of their development.
Any questions from commission members in regards to this? Open for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
from Larry, second by John Dart. Marla, if you'll take the roll, please.
I'm sorry, Executive Director, David had put on here that there was a public hearing on this item. Is that incorrect? No? Okay, I'll just cross it off. Just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Thank you.
with you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Blankets, first to you,
Aye.
John Dart.
Aye.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Barry Kemper.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. Next one we have is resolution 06-2024, grant for land acquisition, Jersey Street. Janelle, you've been busy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. All right, this exhibit shows you some parcels that are located between State Road 32 and Jersey Street, between Westfield Boulevard and Mill Street. So this is just north of that 201 Mill Street property that we were talking about just a moment ago. This resolution authorizes the transfer of money from the RDC to the Downtown Westfield CDC for the Downtown Westfield CDC to use to facilitate the purchase of some parcels within this real estate development area that would be intended for redevelopment. The details of which particular parcels have intentionally not been disclosed here. This is an intent that the CDC can negotiate these purchase agreements with individual landowners.
Okay. We have any other questions for Janelle on this particular resolution? If not, I'm open for motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion for Larry,
Second.
second by Brian Michael. Marla, if you'll take the roll, please.
John Dart.
Aye.
Brian Michael.
Aye.
Larry Kemper.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. At this point, I don't think we have any other business. Our next regular schedule of meeting will be on Monday, May 20th at 6 p.m. I take it we'll probably have an RDA meeting prior to that again for
We
the
will.
last step that they need to take. So if there are no further questions of business to conduct, open for a voice vote on approval for adjournment. Everybody in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.